Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Rivian Automotive, ticker symbol RIVN. And so last week I did put out a video during the pre-market on February 22nd. And so that was following earnings and this big gap down that we had seen. I had covered some of the pre-market trading, hoping that it would find support and not be getting below $12 a share, but it actually opened at $11.98 on the day, February 22nd, so last Thursday, and then closed even lower at $11.45, hitting 2 days later on last Friday an all-time low of $10.05, so just above $10. And so I just want to go over, what I see in the chart here, levels that do stand out, some things that do seem a little discouraging, but also a couple of things that do seem encouraging moving forward. And I should note before I do put up the drawings, I am recording this during market hours on Thursday, February 29th, and the current price is right around $11.14, but this price will be moving as I do record this, so did want to note that. And currently we are down just about 1.5% on the day, as you can see this red candle here following these three green candles. And so before actually I do throw up the drawings, I do want to point out one thing. I've covered this in other videos on other tickers. One thing that stands out to me about this, we haven't put in the close yet, but this strikes me as possibly being a falling three methods. And so that is a pattern where you have a big red candle followed by three green ones stair-stepping up, and then another red candle. This candle is not yet formed, but if we do get a bearish engulfing candle, so that would be closing below yesterday's open, which was at a price of $11.04. If we do close today below $11.04, or really like below $11 a share, especially if we start getting down to this range around 10.50 or 10.35, especially if we get down to right around $10, that would be a falling three methods, and that would suggest further downside. So do keep an eye on that. Some things that do stand out as encouraging based on this trading that we've seen following earnings. We have been putting in higher closes. And so that would be, on Friday of last week, the 23rd, we did put in the lowest close of all time at a price of $10.07. So I do think that is a key level to be paying attention to. We don't want to be putting in lower closes than that. And so following that lowest close, also hitting the new all-time low at that time of $10.06, the following day, so Monday of this week, we did have a green day going up about 6.25% on the day, but not putting in a close that was higher than the previous day's open. But we did get that on Tuesday, the 27th. We did close above the high that was on last Friday, which was at $11.02. So on Tuesday, we closed at $11.14, and on that day we hit a high of $11.25. On Wednesday we closed at $11.30, so stair-stepping our way up, getting closes above previous highs. So that's really good. But as far as today goes, on Thursday, February 29th, it does look red. We did hit a higher high in this cycle, hitting a high so far on the day of $11.76, but we are pulling back. And so that does suggest to me that we could be putting in a top right around, let's see what the open price was, at $11.49, or right around $11.50. So I do think that is going to be a key important level for us to be closing above. We want to see a close above $11.50, and really putting a close higher than today's high, which is $11.76 so far. But of course, that could turn around before the day closes. And following that, the high that we had last Thursday, February 22nd, was $12.25. So we do want to see closes above that level. But, now that I've gone over that stuff without the drawings, I'm going to throw up the drawings and go over some levels that do stand out. As I had mentioned, $11.50. We do want to get a close above that. But really, we want to get a close above $11.54, which was yesterday's high. So hopefully we can do that today. But it does seem doubtful, especially because we did get a wick up to this green level that I have marked at $11.68. And that corresponds with the previous all-time low that was hit on April 26th of 2023. So it does seem like there is going to be a lot of resistance there. If I do throw up the volume profile, we do start to see the volume shelf pick up there, which really sticks out around $15.18, where I do have a line drawn there, which was the gap, the low before this drop down. So that is something to consider. But also, while I do have it zoomed out like this, I do want to mention that, following this run up, I had looked at the chart wishing that I had bought back here because I just saw so much potential in the company. And I had wished that I had shares at an average price of $11, $12, whatever, for this run up. But I didn't have them. And so now with price ranging between, below $12, around $10, currently at 11, this seems to me like it could be a good time to buy. However, some things to caution about. When we were consolidating over here, that does look like it was a bear flag with the flagpole coming down here, sideways consolidation, and then a breakdown. So we don't want to see bearish consolidation here. And as we do look at how the candle is progressing for the day, it does look like it's coming down. And so I do think that this could form a falling three methods that would send the price lower than $10.05. So we might be coming down to this 1618 extension from this Fibonacci up here, and that is at a price of $9.25. So while I don't hope that happens, if it does happen, be prepared for it and know that that could be a great buying opportunity, much better than what we saw over here at 1168. This could be a much better buying opportunity before the next run up. So do keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that $10.05, since that was the previous low, that might act as notable support. But if we do put in the falling three methods here, I suspect we will, unfortunately. I do think $9.25 will be on the table, but first we need to break $10 a share. And then other than those levels, basically all of these I had gone over in last week's video. $12 a share just being a psychological level. Also that we opened below that last Thursday, not so great. So I do think that's going to be a tough level to get back above. Then $12.58, let's see, that corresponds with the low over here, having tested as support here before the run-up. So I do think $12.58 is another key level. And then also considering $13.30 here marked by the purple line, that does correspond with the 236 from this retracement right around a price of $13.50 here at $13.49. So those are all levels that I do think are going to be important before we get up to getting back to the prices up here above this red trend line. And as I had mentioned, $15.18 does correspond with the gap fill. That was the low on February 21st before we gap down. And then also that does coincide pretty nicely with the low over here from this retracement. That is at a price of $15.12. So with that being said, there are a lot of levels here, as well as all of this sideways consolidation. Looking at the volume profile, that is going to be a tough level to get back to here, with the volume profile being most pronounced right around $16. So if we do have some consolidation down where price is currently at, I do think that could be a good time to accumulate, but I do think that further downside does seem likely, especially if we do start to consolidate in this range. We could be forming another bear flag, but if we can get back to $12 a share and closing above the high that was hit on the 22nd, with that being $12.25, if we can get two consecutive closes above $12.25, I do think that getting up to these levels and potentially filling this gap would be on the table, but we first need to close above that key level. And currently, with price being down now 2% on the day, I don't think it's looking so good, and I do think we will see some great dip buying opportunities at $9.25. Hopefully not lower, hopefully not much lower than $10 a share, but I do think that will be happening, so do prepare yourself for that. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.